Welcome to Flight Test. I'm Peter, and today I'm going to show you how to paint some water-resistant foam board. So there's a little bit of differences between the older foam board and the water-resistant foam board. The old foam board is basically almost like printer paper, as in it accepts most kind of mediums such as colored crayons, pencils, markers, and even paint very well. It was actually a lot easier to work with as far as paint scheming, but it would never seem to last just as long. Now this new water-resistant stuff, it's a little bit of a different animal to paint and also decorate. It's a little bit waxier, so it's got a little bit of I think it's like some kind of poly coating on it. So painting it is similar to painting like plastics. So pretty much building your airplanes is exactly the same as the old process, but for the most part, painting it will actually make the water-resistant foam board almost 100% waterproof. So first thing you're gonna do when you're painting your airplane is you want to do some kind of surface prep. The foam is very kind of waxy and glossy and shiny, so take some 320 grit or higher. Sometimes you can use a little bit less. Just sand the airplane down just so you can kind of see the foam get a little duller, and then you can start to paint it. Now painting is pretty simple. You paint just like the old methods. You just couple 2 to 3 light coats and then cover it. But here's the thing, it takes about 8 times longer to completely dry, depending on what kind of paints you use, especially gloss colors. I've noticed I had the most trouble with gloss on this foam because it just stays really, really tacky. And before you guys want to do any sort of decals or stuff, you have to make sure the tackiness is gone. Once it's dry, you can actually start putting tape on it. Now I find the best method to do this is to take your lint from your shirts or whatever and rub some tape all over that, and then it makes the tape a lot less sticky, because usually the tapes, most of the tapes I use, like this 3M tape, is very, very tacky, and if you pull it off, it'll easily rip paint off with it. Go ahead and dull the tape down, and then you can stick it onto the surface. Once you've done that, you can put some other paper on top of that to keep the overspray from getting everywhere, and simply just put some coats of paint down, and then let that dry and pull off the tape. Very, very slowly too. Now, if you guys have seen Josh's video when he did his Sportster, basically what he did was he used some 3M77 and some custom cut decals. You guys can see that video down the link below. For doing that method, you have to be very, very careful with this, because the 3M77 adhesive tends to stick really well to the paints, essentially if you're doing like an over top coat. So basically you want to do the same thing with the tape, spray it on, let that stuff dry for about a good 5 to 10 minutes, then rub it on your shirt to get some lint on there to make it less tacky, place it on the surface, and then simply just paint it. And then pull it off when you're done. When you pull it off though, you have to be very, very careful and very slow. Now if you do find it does leave residue, and I've had this problem, just leave it alone for a good 10-20 minutes and then simply just rub it off with your hands. It kind of comes off kind of like eraser flakes from old pencils or something like that. So there you have it. That's how you pretty much paint this foam board. The basic materials I used were just some Rust-Oleum spray paint and some Valspar. Most brands take very well to this foam. You're just gonna need some tape and some paper and some scissors. That's basically all I used to paint this airplane. The only thing really different about this is you just gotta be slower. It's almost exactly the same. And if you guys do get your foam for the first time, usually in your kits, we have tons of scrap foam. Try it on that first to see how it works. Try all your paints, because it's better just to be safe than sorry. So just try it on some scrap and you guys should have a pretty good experience. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.